would know my shadow and my light. So shall I at last be free. These are the words of British composer Michael Tippett in his oratorio, A Child of Our Time. A Child of Our Time tells the story of Herschel Greenspan, a young Jewish refugee trapped in Paris before the war, with his parents in Poland. He's desperate to get them out. In a fit of rage and despair, one day he goes to the Paris consulate and assassinates a German diplomat. The Germans respond and retaliate with what we now refer to as Kristallnacht, a night of death and destruction for the Jewish people across the land. Tippett chose this piece because as the war approached, he became more and more obsessed with this idea of oppression, hopelessness, and despair, and the toll not only that it takes on an individual, but society as a whole, and not just for those who are oppressed, but those who are committing the acts of violence. And so he uses the story as sort of a microcosm for a worldview of the cost we pay. Well, the work itself is massive in scope. Tippett used his structure, borrowed it from the Bach Passions, and it calls for quite a few more people than just the orchestra. It calls for 4 vocal soloists, 1 who represents Greenspan himself, 2 who represent the aunt and uncle with whom he resided in Paris, and finally 1, the soprano, who represents his mother still trapped in Poland. It also calls for not 1 but 2 choruses. Now, it's usually pretty hard to come up with 2 choruses, but luckily our friends at the New England Conservatory have many, many wonderful ensembles and choirs. And so their youth chorale will be playing the part of the oppressed, and their concert choir the role of the oppressors. Both, of course, led by my wonderful friend and colleague, the very talented Jonathan Richter. I think for us as an organization, we just feel honored and very privileged to work with so many wonderfully talented people, collaborate on a project of this scope and scale to bring to life a piece that I feel is still so relevant to our society today and where we are. So I hope you enjoy it and join us for our opening concert.